Alright. I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to start. Oh my god. I don't have any cigarettes. I don't know. It's not coming from lack mind mentality. I just feel like complaining for a second. It's cold as fuck outside. It's really cold. Oh, excuse me. Oof. It's really windy. I haven't been able to cook all day because I live in my car, so I cook outside for the most part. I mean, I don't cook in the car, you know. I don't know where I'm supposed to start with this story because, like, there's so much to it. Like, a lot. Let's see. I guess I'm supposed to talk about the gang stalking first. Like, what happened to me. And I already talked about this once. I don't think... I haven't gone back to watch that video, so I actually don't know, but I'm going to try not to let this one go too long because I don't have access to Wi-Fi up here on the mountain, and frankly, I'm struggling to pay my bills. So, yeah. Anybody who's lived check to check knows that, when things get screwed up one month, you end up paying for it the next month until you can catch up. Anyway. Okay, so I was living in my BMW. This was years ago. This was back in 2017. And, I need a shower. Anyway, so back in 2017, I met a man named Michael in a park in Santa Barbara, California. And, I quickly, fell in love with him. Not right away, but, quickly enough. And, fell pretty deeply for him. And, he was telling me, he wanted to help me get out of my car. I mean, because it was a BMW and all, but, like, who wants to fucking live in their car? It's hard, it's not easy. That's an understatement. It's really hard. So, it's very challenging, and most people can't do it without being totally fucking miserable. So, so I moved up to Napomo. There was a man an elderly gentleman, his name was Jerry Murphy. Jerry James Murphy. He's passed away now. And he was living by himself in this huge house in Napomo on a, fairly large piece of property. And, the wind is just whipping the car around right now. And, I had been through IHSS and/or, in-home supportive services, orientation, like, several times already. I had done the work for other people, including my, now deceased Aunt Patty. Patricia Patton was her name. And, I really want to cook something. I'm tired of eating cold food. Anyway, I love to cook. I just don't have a kitchen. Anyway, I have a stove, but I'll go to that. Okay, stand track for that. I broke one of my nails real bad, and I don't care about that. I don't care about the breaking of the nail exactly, but it catches on everything now, because it's, like, ragged on the edge. Okay. Oh, everything's plastic, wrapped in plastic. It's so tired of digging through bags in my car. Okay. No, I'm not one of those miserable people. I know it might sound like it, but I'm genuinely not. I'm actually a very happy person. So, like, I'm just, God, she complains a lot. You know, I'm like, yeah, but I don't. And, like, literally, oh, shit. Uh-oh. My fucking thing is upside down. Ah, fuck. Stick. Oh, man. But, like, I'll tell my story and then you can see. Anyway. Okay. I'm actually a very brave person, very, very happy. Anyway, so I move up to Napomo and I start working for Jerry. Now, mind you, I really wasn't in any shape to take care of anyone else. I mean, not just, like, physically, but just, like, mentally. I really wasn't there. You know, I needed to be taken care of. And I was not. Like, I didn't know how to take care of myself yet. I mean, I did, like, in a physical sense, you know, like, eat, sleep, you know, kind of thing. But, like, I did not know how to, I didn't know how to be happy. I really didn't. And this was something that plagued me on and off for most of my life. The fucking shitty people around me in my life had made my life really hard. I'd been through a lot. I had already been through a lot. Like, a lot. And, so, and this is not, like, some horror story. This is a story of hope. So, just keep that in mind when you're hearing the story. So, like, it has a happy ending. Very happy. And, sometimes when we're told horrible stories, we need to be told that so that we can hang in for the story, because, you know, most people's stories don't have hope in them. And so, you know, why listen to another fucking horror story, right? When it's just gonna be, like, the same horribleness. Without hope, you know, because that without hope shit is, fuck that, you know, like, yeah, no. So, okay. So I moved to Napomo, and I start working for Jerry. And he needed a lot of help. This man was my car is getting rocked right now. So cold outside. It's so cold. And he was a mess. Man, this man was a mess. He had, he was having, like, a wound care specialist come and see him, once a day, because he had an open, you know, like a, what do you call it, pressure ulcer on his, like, upper hip area, you know, like, just below, like, the waistline of your pants, kind of. But, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was his butt. And he was just he was a gross person. And at the same time, I don't think that he really had a choice, because he was, you know, he's so old. He was, like, in his 80s already when I met him. And his hands were like claws from the rheumatoid arthritis that he had. And, oops, sideways. And, he would, you know, he no one had taken care of him in a long time. And this man was, like, he didn't make anything easy. Nothing at all. So, you know, it wasn't an easy job, but, excuse me, like, the day that I got there, I remember I walked in the house and there were all these blue pills, like, I don't even know, like, what size, you know, like, the size of, like, a Tylenol tablet, you know, like, the circle, they were, like, thick tablets, not big, but excuse me, I kept finding these blue pills all over the house. And I didn't want to, because I'd only been there for like a couple days, maybe. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. And, I mean, the only little blue pills that I knew about that men took were, Viagra, right? But I know that sometimes men take them for, blood pressure. So, that's not a question, that's a statement. So, I just didn't ask him, and I didn't ask. Like, to save him the embarrassment and also myself. You know what I mean? I just didn't want to ask him. So, I just kept picking him up off the floor and putting him to the side because he had this dog named Honey Bear, and Honey Bear was just the sweetest dog. I loved her. Wow. I get downloads when I'm talking sometimes, and it's incredible about the things I'm talking about. Not always, but often. Yeah, fuck you, Charlie Guyash, you fucking horrible person. You're a horrible person. Ugh. So, after a couple days of working with him, and I didn't get any sleep. I mean, it was kind of nightmarish. Really, it was pretty fucking awful. And Jerry had the TV on, full blast all the time, and it was just like, no peace. There was no peace. No peace. There was no joy in that house. There was nothing. It was gnarly. So, it was like, I think the 4th, maybe 5th day that I was there. I don't even know if it had been that long. And he starts vomiting uncontrollably. And I'm just like, oh my God. It was one thing after another already, and I'd only been there a couple days, and I thought about just packing my car up and leaving. I mean, I did. I genuinely thought about that. And he begged me to stay. He said, no, I need you to stay. I need you to stay. You got to take care of Honey Bear. I need you to take care of the house. There was another man living there at the time. His name was Don Penny. And he was equally a fucking disaster. Like, severe alcoholism, and he was having trouble with his heart and a number of other things. So, something about his legs. Anyway, I don't remember at all. It's not my business anyway. But I really need a shower. So, I'm working for Jerry and all, and no, Don wasn't living there yet. He wasn't living there. It was just me and Jerry. It was just me and Jerry and Honey Bear. But Mike didn't stay. He didn't stay. He was there on the weekends, but he wasn't there otherwise. And, so Jerry's vomiting uncontrollably, and he's vomiting up what looks like brownish red or like brick colored kind of coffee grounds. What this looked like, and I thought, what the fuck? And I didn't know what it was. I mean, I had seen people throw up vomiting blood before, but like it was red blood, like, So this coffee grounds thing was new to me, and once I realized what it was, that it was in fact blood, I told him, and I said, what have you, what have you been doing? Why are you puking blood, dude? And, I realized really quickly that all the little blue pills that I had been picking up off the floor, and I'd been putting them he had like a little pouch on the side of his chair, his like recliner chair in the front room. He had taken all of them. Uh-oh. I think fuck. I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Yeah, I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Did you follow her? Oh, no, I didn't. Oh. My stove is like right outside the window. But So, outside the door. Anyway, so he's like, and I cannot get him to stop puking for like 12 hours. And he doesn't want to go to the hospital. He doesn't want to go to the ER. He doesn't want to fucking do anything. And, like, I understand that. So I didn't want to be, you know, like, a hard ass about it and make him go. And I could have. And, so I'm talking to him, and he tells me how many of these, and I guess they were Aleve. They were in I finally saw the bottle. I had not seen any bottles in the house, these little blue pills. I mean, they weren't like tiny, but they were, you know, like regular size pill. I don't even know. So I put two and two together pretty fucking quickly. That he was vomiting blood, obviously, and, this was from all of the Aleve he had been taking. Oh, I mean, I can't remember if I was, like, more annoyed or, like, frightened for him. Both equal parts fear and annoyance. And, because I knew that it was serious, you know, what he was going through, it was serious. And after, like, 12 to 14 hours of him just puking everywhere, too. Like, all over himself, all over the dog, all over his chair, all over me. And it was just like, oh my God. So I finally, stop, baby girl, please. Meow. Hey. Momo, stop, honey. Stop, my love. So finally, you need to stay covered up. It's really cold. Stay covered up, my dingleberry doodlebug. And, oh, my Momo. Here, let me get your pillow for you. Here, my Momo. Here. Here. Here's your pillow. Here's your pillow. Oh, you're so pretty. You're just the best thing ever. I love you so much. Are you warm enough? Are you a little burp? You're so pretty. I love you so much. So after, basically a fucking arm wrestling match with him, I got him to, well, I called, 911 and got his ass to go. I waited until his wound care specialist lady was supposed to come, and I kind of like got her to, well, I didn't kind of like, I got her to talk him into going. I got her to back up what I was saying, because everything I was saying was true, and get him to the hospital, because he needed to be there. That's where I'm a highly trained and well versed in emergencies of all different kinds. But this was something that had gotten out of my control. I didn't know how to treat this. You know, I didn't know. I don't know. I needed more, I didn't have access to the things I needed. Excuse me, nor did I have the training to help him with this particular issue. So, I get him to the hospital, and they admit him. Like, I'm like, oh my God, thank God. So, they keep him there, and he was there for a very extended amount of time. And through COVID, really, like, almost all of it. And, anyway, he asks me to stay at his house with his dog. I think that dog was the only thing in the world he ever really cared about, including his kids. Like, I'm not kidding. And I'm not saying that to be mean or disrespectful or anything. Like, it's just true. He never asked about anything except his dog, Honey Bear. She was the sweetest dog, too. Oh, my God. This dog is so sweet. Anyway, so this is where the gang stalking started for me. I had never been paranoid in my life before this. Not without good reason. I had never, like, thought something was going on unless something was going on. But, like, really, this was my first, like, I had kind of, like, weirdo stalker boyfriends, like, more, like, you know, the guys that, like, get a crush on you and it, like, goes too far in their own mind kind of thing. But, like, more than that I had never experienced up until that point. Like, I think I had experienced, like, hacking to some point or other, like, I mean, like, pretty much everybody has, and, like, other kinds of things, but, like, this went off the fucking deep end, like, off the hook, psycho shit, like, what? And I think it started with my neighbor, because he's just a very, like, obsessive compulsive, egotistical fucking psycho, like, and I'm not saying psycho in some kind of dismissive or, I mean, he's out of his fucking mind. Ooh. So, yeah, like, to this day, he's out of his mind. He's still out of his mind. 100%. Keep it a buck. So, at some point, I remember, I stayed at Jerry's and with Honey Bear, you know, took care of Honey Bear, took care of myself, or started to learn how to take care of myself. I was a mess. My mother had died, and I was slowly but surely losing every other family member I had, and friends too, just dying left and right. And this was even before COVID. So I had one person in my life that kept telling me to find the joy, and although they didn't want to have anything to do with me finding joy, except to tell me how to do it or what to do, which was really annoying, because they were nothing but a source of misery in my life. Lies, misery, gossip, throwing me under the bus. They were a huge reason why I got evicted, and I did a previous video about this, how I became homeless. They were a huge reason why I was evicted from that housing development on Carrillo Street in Santa Barbara, California. And they knew what had happened to me. They knew I had been raped. They knew it all. They knew all this stuff. And not only was I not defended, but this person threw me under the bus too. Fucking narcissists, man. Fucking cocksuckers. Yeah, I'm not even sorry about that, because they are fucking horrible people. So, the first thing I remember noticing, well, first of all, I got a phone call. I remember I got a phone call from some organization calling themselves the Home Protection Agency, and I was like, okay. So I looked them up. Of course, I Googled it, and yeah, it was like scam everywhere is what it said. And the first phone call I got from them was from this he was a younger man. And he was like, you need to be out in 24 hours. Blah, 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 blah. You know, he was very unrefined. Didn't know how to deal with people at all. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Fuck you. And I hung up. I mean, the shit he was saying was absurd. And then on top of that, he was saying things that I knew for a fact were against the law. So, yeah, whatever, dude. You tried the stick before you tried the carrot. And, then I hang up, like I told you, I hung up on him. Then a woman calls me back. And she seems to know a lot about me. You know, like not a lot, but like, you know, more than the average bear. And she's talking to me, you know, this and that and the other thing. And I could tell these people have obviously done background checks on me. And, I could tell that even in the moment. And I had never heard from these people before that. So she tells me some other bullshit story, and I was like, whatever, you know, whatever. And I hung up on her too. I don't think I hung up on her, but you know, something like that. And I told her a lot. Like, I gave her a lot of information, but that's who I am. You know, authenticity is my thing. It always has been. So I don't worry about telling people things, because it's the truth, and like, who cares? You know, like, I don't really care. It's not. What I didn't realize then was that I was telling her things that she could use against me. But like, now, yeah, you can. So, I remember I had bought these, Bluetooth speakers off of, Amazon. I had been part of this, like, product testing group on Amazon, and, I mean, not on Amazon, but, like, for Amazon. It was like it was like a group where you, like, get free products if you buy the product and, like, give it a great review kind of thing. That's how that works. Most people know what that's like. Most people have done it. And it was frankly, it was fucking awful. It was awful. The group of people is what I mean. Like, not the actual product testing wasn't that bad at all. And getting free products, like, for, whatever, like, not bad. And yet, this, at the same time, the group that I was doing it with was a fucking disaster. I mean, not, in the beginning it wasn't so bad, but as it went on, things just started to get worse and worse. It's like people started to get greedy or something, I'm not sure. I don't know, I was just doing my part in it, I wasn't like, I wasn't trying to get more than I could, or, not pay for things, or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know what other people were doing. So, I had started an art business in Nipomo, and I was doing fairly well. I mean, I was shipping my pieces of art to New Zealand, Canada, Ireland, what the fuck, Canada, I was doing well. And, in the meantime, this gang stalking shit had continued. So I just, I was just ignoring it the best I could. I was ignoring it. My mail was going missing left and right. All kinds of shit was happening. My packages from Amazon, because I had this resin business, right? So I was ordering things regularly. And, my credit card had been my credit was destroyed at one point. It was, it was the first and only credit card I'd ever had in my whole life. It's just, to this day, same thing. Never opened another one. And my credit limit was like $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that. And all of a sudden, there was like $2,000 worth of purchases. Now, my internet had been hacked. Like, my home internet, my Wi-Fi had been hacked. I know it was. The traffic that was coming in and out of my Wi-Fi was all wrong. I knew that it was. My ISP kept switching, and I wasn't using a VPN. So and I'm not a coder. I wasn't messing with my stuff, so I had no idea how this was happening. There were a number of things that happened. I complained up one side and down the other to Charter Spectrum about this. I complained to Charter Spectrum about my phone, because I purchased my phone from Charter Spectrum. I purchased my Apple, it was a iPhone 11. I purchased directly from them, brand new phone. And the fuck? And this phone was a fucking disaster. This phone was, anyway. Oh, okay. That's what that noise is. There's like other noises out there, though. I'm not really sure. Anyway. But my iPhone was a fucking mess. My internet, my home internet was a mess. My Bluetooth speakers, the reason why I mentioned them, they were making all kinds of like popping noises, and it's kind of weird shit was going on, and I didn't know what to think about it. I mean, it made me kind of paranoid, but at the same time, I wasn't concerned yet. I was, but like, nobody was listening to me, and, when I would tell people what I knew up until that point, they just kind of looked at me like, huh? And frankly, I didn't know enough about it, and I hadn't been through enough at that point to say for a fact what was going on. I didn't know. And I knew that I was being stalked and things like that. And what people kept asking me was, well, why would somebody do this to you? And what I didn't know, And the truth that hadn't occurred to me yet was, I don't know. And I would say that, I would say, like, I don't know why anyone would do this to me. And that's true. But, like, what I was missing was that it wasn't about me. It was never about me personally, really. Not really. Not until later did it become personal, because I pissed these people off. I am one stubborn, strong as fuck person, and I pissed them off because I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't just die. And I mean that. They tried to kill me. Not kidding at all. Not even kidding. They tried to kill me and my dog. True story. So, God, fucking shit. Fuck. Sometimes I just get annoyed with trying to prop things up and fuck, It's fucking, I mean, just have lighting, it's fucking lame. I don't like having to do all those things. Dig through bags and, just, like, not be able to be comfortable. I'm sitting in my fucking front seat of my car, which is where I sleep, too. Anyway, moving on. So, it's so cold outside. It's cold in here, too. But I didn't know enough at the time to tell people, yeah, that it's not about me. Because I wasn't thinking. I really wasn't. And with all the shit I had been through, all the deaths in my family and around me, like my best friend was dead, my great aunt was dead, my little brother was dead, my mom was dead, my Uncle James was dead, 2 of my friends from high school were dead, and the list goes on. So Honey Bear was dead at that point. I had to kill her myself. I had to put down that sweet dog. I had to put her down. I felt like a monster for the longest time, and then I realized the real monsters were the motherfuckers who wouldn't help me. Fucking low-life fucks, including Mike, including Chuck. Fucking low-life fucking assholes. And, like, forgiven, but no, I will never forget. Never. Predatory fucking cocksuckers. So anyway, and I was telling both of them to, just the man named Chuck and another man, and my man named Mike, who was Jerry's friend and also the person who got me the job in Nipomo. And, I was telling them what was happening to me, and they didn't care. They thought I was crazy. And I'm like, why would I just, like, up and lose my fucking mind? Like, are you kidding me? And that was one of the worst things that they ever did to me, was just not believe me. They didn't believe me. They didn't believe anything I was saying. And, it might have been one thing for Michael because he didn't know me for very long. But, like, Chuck, he had known me for, like, 10 years. He knew my mother. Like, as inappropriate as that was, he did not need to be friends with my mom, but he was. And because he injected, oh God, horrible person. Horrible person, horrible person. But, I wasn't, I didn't stand on that truth that, people kill each other for $5, you know what I mean? And, like, this was a multi-million-dollar piece of real estate that I was sitting on. And that's why they came after me. It had nothing to do with me personally, not really. They didn't give a fuck who I was. They didn't care. So, it was really, for them, it was always about the money. I didn't, but, like, initially, that just didn't, like, occur to me. Because I'm not a greedy fucking shithole person like that, I'm just not. So, I'm looking for a cigarette, but, so I'm like I said, all these people had died around me. I didn't really know what the fuck to do. I was completely on my own. I had no one. I had no one and nothing, really. Not really. My credit was ruined. My boyfriend was gone. My family was dead. I mean, the fuck? Like, really? So, I stayed to myself. And I did the best I could to survive. And it just got worse. It just got worse. Before I knew it, my security camera inside my house was talking to me with both a man and a woman's voice. First it started talking to my dog. I was like, the fuck? Like, what? You know, I mean, it was like that. I was just like, and then when I told people what had happened, they looked at me like I was crazy, and I'm like, what, did you not hear what I just fucking said? And now what I realized all this time later was that a lot of the people I was talking to about it were in on it. If they were either in on it and or they were looking to throw me under the bus. So they had something invested in lying about me and to me. And so I mean, I'm jumping around a lot in the story because there's so much. There's so much to tell it from point A to point B from point A to point Z is a challenge. So I kept trucking along. You know, I kept doing the best I could, and then my little brother died. Yeah, I just basically lost my mind. I mean, not completely, but temporarily, yeah. I went through some shit, man. For real. And all the time, all the while, this fucking stalking shit was going on. And then on top of that, nobody believed me. Nobody. So, my life was hell. I mean, literally hell. It was hell. I think I would have done better in a lake of fire than I felt in the situation I was in. I mean, it was insane what I was going through. And nobody was there for me. Nobody. That's why I say, you know, if you ever meet anyone who says that they're my friend, don't believe them. Run promptly the other direction. Because if they had anything to do with me in those days, they were either in on it or they were not. They were fucking horrible, abusive people in their own right that needed to fucking be put down, quickly. And I'm not kidding about that. I know that sounds awful, but I mean, these people have caused so much damage in the lives of so many people. And not just my stalkers. The two that I mentioned, they're not good people, let alone good men. The things we do when we're unhealed. And I own that, you know, it's mine. And at the same time, I had no idea what I was getting into with either one of them. But it was that whole, you know, empath, narcissist paradigm bullshit. And they knew a lot more than I did. Which has been the case with most of the narcissists I've been involved with. And, you know, not falling in that trap again. With any narcissist ever again. Fuck that. Which is something, you know, which is another, incentive to heal yourself. Because then you will never have to deal with another narcissist ever again. And you just, cut through their shit like a hot knife through butter. It's amazing. So, and you can help others too. You can protect others from themselves and from the narcissist, because a lot of the times we get into these relationships that we don't even know what we're getting into. Anyhow, so in the meantime, these fucking home protection agency assholes, there was one point where they posted a note on my front door, and I actually streamed this to Facebook Live, where they had posted this notice on my door that said, yeah, we'll be back in 24 hours to change the locks. And I'm like, no, you won't. Not without something written and notarized from Mr. Murphy. And Jerry was very clear that he didn't know anything about it. And, you know, whatever, whether he did or he didn't matter to me. The fact of the matter was he wasn't being open about it. And he needed to be if it was going to be legal. He needed to be, you know, open with me about it. And he wasn't. So that covered my ass from that direction. From, you know, Jerry lying to me about, you know, whether he was sending these people my way or not. And then Jerry died. And I was like, oh. I didn't know that Jerry had died, though, is the thing. I didn't know he had died, Mr. Murphy. I didn't know he was passed away until my brother died in December of 2021. Is that right? Yeah. December of 2021, December 20th of 2021, my little brother died. And, I didn't know that Mr. Murphy had passed away because no one had told me. Now, my sister apparently had been contacted by these people, or specifically a person calling herself June Murphy. And, this woman, like, she told me this whole story about how they had been approached on Facebook by this man named Timothy Hutchinson, and how her sister, who was kind of like, had been, but then June was obviously out of her fucking mind too. How their sister had been approached, and oh, it's already at 41 minutes. Fuck. I don't have Wi-Fi up here, so it takes a long time for me to upload videos. Okay, so I'll do another one of this. Okay, there might be like a lot of parts. There are going to be a lot of parts of this story, so bye for now.